Back to it. What are you doing?
I can't read. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Welcome back to my channel. I've got Robert here with me today and we're going to do a military life Q&A, aren't we?
Oh yes.
I put up a thing on my Instagram a while back, probably like well before Christmas, asking for some questions because quite a lot of people have asked us for this video and we got loads of questions back. So we're going to go through as many as we can. So first question is, how do you prepare your children in the run-up to Robert going away for a period of time? I think last time it was a bit different because Isla was a lot younger. She was only 2. Yeah, 2. 2 and a bit. So she didn't have any concept of time at all, and she didn't really have any concept of you being away or you being here.
So just like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, it was in a way. So we didn't have to do a lot of preparation last time. Just from my side, I did get Rob to film some little videos on our phones that we could show her and record you doing a story and things like that, and we got Huggable Hero. But in terms of preparing her, we didn't need to last time, whereas this time we'll have to.
Oh yes.
Yeah, she will be...
That won't be alright.
She'll be 4 when you go actually, because it's her birthday before you go. So she's a lot more aware, she's far too switched on, she knows what's going on, she's... Even if you're away for the night or the weekend now, she's asking. Away. So I think this time we're probably going to get some books and start reading them. You get like books about deployment and stuff for kids. We'll do that. We'll maybe make a little chart up with her where we can do like the months and have stickers and things, and we'll make it while you're still here so she kind of like associates it. And then do the same thing, do the videos, do the reading and all that. But emotionally, we're preparing her already. We're saying he's going away, and you have a few sort of stints at sea before you go. So,
bit of practice.
Yeah. Next question is, how do you think you and Rob would cope if the roles were reversed? I.e., if I had to go away for months on end.
Oh my days.
How do you think you'd cope?
I think they would turn feral, and we would be,
You'd be living in like
wildlife people.
Yeah, with a garden or something.
Yeah, the garden.
I think the house would be an absolute bomb site. The kids would be lucky if they got to any birthday parties or you remember to buy any presents.
Presents won't get bought.
We'd probably have no family members talking to us anymore. No. You'd all be like wearing dirty clothes. I'm joking. I think you'd cope. I think...
once we've gotten to the swing of things, but it is definitely harder being left behind than leaving, I think.
And I just think, in general, you're not a very good multitasker, so I think you'd struggle more to remember everything and remember to do all the bills.
Half job Rob.
Half job Bob. Yeah, half job Rob. So, I think it'd be a very different story if I went away. Oh, yes. Next question is, how do you manage to organise yourself so you can get everything done while your husband's away? Oh, and also, how do you make marriage quarters your own? I think I'm just naturally a really organised person. I always have been. I'm a bit OCD, I'm a bit list orientated. I like routines, I like things to run a certain way and in a certain order. So, and I'm a very good multitasker.
You'd rather be busy.
Yeah, and I would rather be busy. So I just sort of get on with things and try and keep it organised. I think I do have to step up when you're away because I haven't got the backup. If I forget something, then you might be there to remind me. So like with the kids, I do a lot more organisation the night before for nursery or things like that. I use my calendar a lot more just because I've got no one else telling me to remember things or to remember to do things and stuff like that. So it's just lists of more lists and keeping a routine really. And marriage quarter wise, we hate our marriage quarter.
We've had to go, because of the time that we've been here, you've got to make it your own, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean I know lots of
painting
people
a wall,
don't.
Putting some stuff, yeah, a lot of people don't.
And fair enough, but I couldn't live in a magnolia house for a long period of time. It would never feel like home. These houses as well are very, very dark. They're very old. They're very gloomy, miserable houses. So I found even just painting all the walls white just made such a difference. We've literally only got grey, like one little bit of grey in here, some wallpaper through there, but just like brick, white brick. Then upstairs a bit of grey in Macklin's room, and that's it. It was just more about making it fresher and cleaner and lighter because it's just awful. And I know painting's an absolute pain, but I think it's more than worth it.
The floors, didn't we? The laminate.
Yeah, we bought some like cheap laminate, what's it called? Vinyl stuff. Vinyl for like our bathrooms and the hallway again, just to brighten up because they'd put down this black floor that looked like paint had been spilt all over it, like paint speckles. It's bizarre, really bizarre. And what else have we done? It's just putting up your own stuff. We've put up some shelves. We've just tried to make the most of what it is, but they are hard houses to make your own, and you're not supposed to make them your own. You're supposed to be able to put them exactly back. And even if you do improvements to the house, it all has to go completely back again. Next question, do you see it getting easier or worse as Isla and Lachlan get older? Also, how does Rob feel having a job that takes him away from you all? I'd say it's getting harder as they get older. It's getting, well, harder in the sense that it's harder on them, which means it's harder to deal with them and support them. For us. But then it's easier because the older the children get, the more independent they become. So it's less like if you've got a newborn, it's very full on and intense. Like just really intense, but as they get older they get a bit more independence. That way it's easier, and Isla can help out and help with Lachlan and whatever, but emotionally the older they get the worse it gets, definitely. So
and then for me, leaving the kids, it's just knowing that I'm leaving them and knowing that I'm leaving Sarah and that I should be there, but yeah, I know that I'm doing a good job out there, so I've just got to keep getting reminded of that. And
I think as well for you, I think it's hard because you miss out so much of the kids. That's probably a big thing. Yeah. Especially Lachlan, because he's so young and you only really met him properly when he was 3 months old, so I don't know. Video calling only does so much as well. But we don't even get video calls.
Wow.
We got like
a few.
We got 2 last deployment where we could hear you, and the problem is as well with them is sometimes they make Isla worse. Like if she can't hear you properly and you can't hear her because the Wi-Fi is so bad when you're alongside, it's just not worth it. So genuinely, that last 6 months we probably only had about 2 or 3 decent calls, where we could hear you. Next question is, do you always know how long he's away for, and does the ship ever come home in that time? It's meant to be 6 months. I think when like Rob, your crew rotates, so your dates are better. If you're actually on a ship that sails off somewhere and comes back, I think that's very fluid as to when it leaves and when it comes back, and that's hard because we're flying there and then taking over, and then the other people have already booked their flights to come back. It's very structured, and that's it. You've got your dates, so we're pretty lucky. Yeah, but we still don't exactly know when you're going, so. But yeah, it's meant to be, in what you do, it's meant to be a set amount of time, but that's deployment. At the moment you're at sea, you're on a ship, so you're at sea, and that's not like, everyone gets pushed around all the time and just like I was just looking at the calendar with Rob being like, oh, so you're not here next weekend, and he's like, oh, actually I might be here next weekend, I'm not sure. And that's really, really hard to deal with, especially for someone like me who needs structure and to make plans and things. It's really hard. It's very fluid, very frustrating. Oh, and does the ship ever come home in that time? No. No. It doesn't. No. It's a simple answer. Next question is, how do you manage emotionally? Not very well. Well, I think the beginning and the end are the worst. In the middle, you just get on with it, and no amount of being miserable is going to bring you back. You almost need to kind of forget it. You do, you do, and you have to become, not forget about the person, but forget. You have to become so independent, especially because usually you're somewhere where you've got no family either, so you've not even got that support. You just have to get on with it. At the beginning it's awful and it's really hard, and I'm not an emotional person, but I was really shocked how emotional I got last time you went. Like especially, well, I was pregnant, but for the first couple of weeks it was really stupid little things that used to make me really upset and cry, and like seeing things of yours around the house, which obviously there's always going to be loads of stuff, so I'm not going to pack it all away until you come back. As if I've just gone. Get rid of it. But then it was things like seeing families out together at the supermarket or at soft play or whatever, or just having to go to loads of things alone would make the emotions come back, I guess. But in the middle, I work as well, so it's just a case of routine, going to work, planning things, planning lots of nice things, and planning you coming back. Yeah, having things to look forward to. Like booking holidays for when we got back and things like that. And trying to look forward to phone calls and things, even though you don't really know when you're going to get them. I suppose for me, because we're all on the same boat, pardon the pun, we're all in the same thing, we're all in the same families, we kind of can talk about it or not talk about it, and that sometimes is better. Yeah. But then like sometimes when I'm at sea and I'm just thinking about the family, it does get upsetting. But again, we just got to deal with it. I also work send an email back at a defence company anyway, so there's a lot of ex-forces people, so it's quite nice. They all kind of get what I'm going through, and if I'm being angry or quiet, or I've got lots of people to vent to, which is nice. Next one is, do you find it hard when Rob comes home post-deployment? From another military wife who says she does. Yes, 100% yes. After that initial like adrenaline rush of you being home and obviously being so happy you're home and so excited, then you just get in my way. Like, you ruin my routine, you ruin the kids, like, you just ruin everything.
Because, yeah, I'm still looking after kids out there. They're alright, they're like 21, 22, whatever, but they're still kids. But, yeah.
You come home and just, it's
own
like,
routine, do our own thing.
Bomb goes off and nothing gets done properly.
I know,
but of
I've
course,
had 6 months of doing stuff. And
we're so
grateful
you're back. But also, I think as well, you kind of not like full on forget how to parent, but you almost become like a oblivious parent. Like, I want to say lazy parent, but I'm trying to be polite. But you don't use your initiative to do. You have to be told to do everything,
because
and that's
everyone
really
on the ship for
tiring.
6 months has that level of initiative, and they're already doing stuff. So, and they're the ones who you're looking after day in, day out.
Yeah, but
So
it's a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Yeah, I know. I know.
But yeah, we do struggle. It's because you've led separate lives for 6 months, then you have to come back together and figure it all out again. And the kids are also different when you come back. They've grown up so much, so things that they did when you left, they don't do anymore or whatever. So yeah, it can be hard, but we're obviously glad to have you back. This one kind of leads on from that one actually. It's, how does Rob get back into the correct mind frame for being back at home and not at work? You listen, don't you?
I'll listen. I'll try and listen. I'll try my best and like try and just do what you say, because you've obviously been doing it for 6 months without me, so you know better because you know the kids and you know how they're doing.
I think maybe this time I need to send you like an email before you come back, just with what our
to-do list.
And the weird thing is when Rob leaves this time, Isla won't be at school, but when he comes back she'll have done like 3-4 months of school. So that'll be interesting. Next question, how do you keep yourself positive? It's kind of just accepting it and knowing that no amount of being angry or sad or miserable is going to change the situation. So life's too short and you may as well just...
It's a job, and it
make it as good as
possible. The deployment will come to an end.
Yeah, I guess you know there's an end in sight as well, so you just work towards that and just...
And looking forward to stuff together.
Yeah. Making plans, like last time we had like you came back right before Christmas, which is perfect, whereas this time you'll be just after Christmas.
Our Christmas did that, and then my birthday, and we
Centre Parks,
time together. So.
Planned holidays, do things like that. It just keeps your mind having things to work towards, which keeps you positive. Did you find deployments easier before or after kids? We didn't do a proper deployment before we had kids.
I did 4 months away at a time.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose it wasn't a deployment.
When we first met.
We did long distance for a bit. So you were away for 4 months, then back when we didn't live in the same place.
A year, wasn't it?
So even when you came back, we weren't in the same place. No. So it was a case of I didn't see you all the time, and we didn't live together. And then you did a few stints away when we lived in London. But definitely harder after you have kids, because you've got other people relying on you, like little people relying on you. You've got a much harder like day-to-day life as it is just having kids. So when you're on your own, it's harder. Whereas before, I used to just keep busy with seeing friends and going out for dinner and going out for drinks and things like that and working really hard. And yeah, whereas now I've got the kids to distract me, but it's a lot harder, and you have to manage their emotional needs as well as your emotional needs, which is rather exhausting sometimes. Next question is, can you see yourselves moving back to Aberdeen? Definitely. Yes. Hopefully quite soon.
I want to move more than you do.
No, I definitely want to move back. I'm more practical than Robert is. Robert's more like you go with your heart rather than your brain. Whereas I'd move back tomorrow if I could, but I know for us as a family to work properly, it's best for us to be here even when you go away, because I've got friends here, I've got a good job here, I've got no family here. I know, it's rubbish, but I think if we just do this for a few more years and then hopefully you'll come out of the Navy soon and then we can move back. I don't know if I do really want to move back to Aberdeen, but job-wise in that at the moment I don't really know what's best, and I'd be open to living in Edinburgh or Glasgow. I'd also like to do a stint abroad as well, but my mum and dad will be very sad.
They'd probably come out with us.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? What does Dada take with him to think about the kids?
So last time you were really cute. It was Father's Day just before, and so a couple of Father's Day cards, took them, and then you also gave me some like envelopes.
Oh yeah, one for each month.
Yeah, they had months, so each one was a card saying like what they'd be doing, how they'd be getting on. Obviously she could tell the future because she's amazing, and just loads of Polaroid pictures, and they are the things that got me through it. So basically in my a bed on board is like literally 2 foot in front of you, and then that's somebody else where they sleep. So what I'd have all my pictures on the bottom of his bed on the top of mine. And when I closed my eyes, I saw family. When I opened them, there they were. So for me, obviously the ones of Sarah were like down there a bit. But that's what got me through everything.
Good, I'm glad. And next question is, how often can he be in contact with you all?
Never.
Barely. It's basically mainly emails, which take like a day to come through, or phone calls. They get like calling cards that they can call back on, but not all the time. And yeah, it's rubbish. I was a bit naive when you went last time. I thought we'd be able to speak to each other a lot more than we did, so at least this time I'm more prepared for that. And then when you're alongside, you can kind of get some. But even then, your Wi-Fi was so bad. It was all just so bad. And he's going back to the same place this time. And next question is, how do you explain to the kids what Daddy does and that it means some time away from them?
I'm a pirate.
No.
According to Isla.
That's not what we tell her though.
Well, no.
We just say she knows that Dada works on a boat, so we just say the boat's going away for a while, but you're doing your work. I think because we both work, she really does grasp the concept of work and what it means.
She knows that when you say work, that you're going.
You're away.
Somewhere and you're doing something.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what we do.
I think she'll get it more this time. We're just honest with her. We just tell her what you're doing. The thing is as well, the schools that I've applied for her to go to, hopefully if we get one of them, they do. Yeah, they do. Well, they're not military schools, but they do deployment clubs and support and things like that. So a lot of the time they have a big board with like ships and the parents that are away and where they are. So I guess that'll help her as well. Next one is, do you ever get really lonely? Yes.
Yes, I do.
No one's asking about you. How can you get lonely on a ship full of people? Yeah, I definitely do.
You do.
Yes, definitely. I think I'm lucky that I go out to work, so at least I'm seeing people every day. I'm always out somewhere seeing people. The weekends are obviously the hardest, because a lot of the time people are busy with their families, so I just try to find anyone that will see me.
Random people walking past the door.
Yeah, just go out, be my friend. But even the evenings are very lonely, but the good thing is that, and I said it last time, my blog and my YouTube stuff, I think, it's almost like saves me from loneliness a lot of the time, because when you're away I come home, get the kids sorted, have some food, and then I just work all night. So I just work all day and then I work all night, and it just keeps me really busy. And then yeah, apart from that, I just try to see as many friends as possible. I plan trips home to see my parents, and yeah, I'm really sad this time because we've got really good friends who are neighbours who literally live right across from us, and they were such a support last time, and they're moving before Rob goes, so that's like a bit rubbish. I always like, even seeing their lights on made me feel less lonely. I know that sounds really sad, but yeah, it'll be weird them not being there. Next one, what advice would you give to someone who will be marrying a military man in the next few years?
Don't do it.
You can't say
I'm joking. We are amazing people.
You're an alright bunch of people. Yeah.
They're very honest, kind, and would do anything for you. However,
not all of you. I don't mean you.
Yeah, I'm going to say. Although that we can't give you the guarantee that we're going to be there all the time, which sometimes.
But you're very family
orientated.
Very family orientated. I'd say that. Like, that is a usual general concept. Even people who are single, most people are still very like.
Well, say absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, I think you just have to you have to compromise. That's the worst part of it all. Like, I loved living in London. I didn't want to leave London. I didn't want to come move here. I didn't want to find a new job or anything like that. But I did, because I know it's the best for us, and I think in the future maybe you'll have to make compromises. For me, it's kind of just what makes a relationship work, a military one or a non-military one. It is compromise. You have to take the good with the bad and just make the best of a, not always bad situation, but a bad situation and good situations, and take the best out of them. So, but go into it with your eyes open and knowing that it's not all parades and balls and parties and fun. There is a really rubbish side to it as well, but there's plenty of us. There's lots of us that support each other, so there's always support. Next one, any advice for military wives, girlfriends, children to make friends when you get a new posting? Just go around smiling at everyone. Literally everyone. I went to, when Isla was a baby, I went to about, you do, that's the hardest part. And if you're not an actually confident person, which I'm really not, that might sound weird with doing YouTube and stuff, but I'm a lot more confident now, I'd say I am. I didn't used to be at all. I think YouTube's actually helped a lot with that. But when I had Isla, and I literally had Isla 2 weeks before we moved here, and I knew nobody, I went to about 6 baby groups a week, just in the hope that I'd find my people, and I did. I've now got about 3 groups of friends and my work friends. That's really good. But the worst part of being an adult is you can't expect people to come to you. That's just not what happens. You really do have to put yourself out there.
You'd even go there, nobody talk to you, and then you'd cry in the car park.
Yeah.
On your way.
Yeah.
To the next one.
But I'd still go. But yeah, Rob used to come home and I just would be miserable, and he'd be like, why aren't you smiling? I'd be like, I've spent my whole bloody day smiling at people. I don't want to smile at you. This is your fault. So you have to, yeah, realise that might be hard and it might be rubbish. But there's a lot of groups. Go on Facebook, especially if you've got kids. It's a lot easier to meet people if you have kids, I guess. And through work, obviously working helps you meet people. But Facebook groups, check out the area. Go to, a lot of the time if you go to these like baby clubs and things, they'll have boards up that have other groups. Join the gym, go to exercise classes, go say hello to your neighbours. You never know, you might end up having really good ones like us.
When we first moved in, we got a note sent through our door, and we thought it was really weird. But it was one of our neighbours saying, who's now the people I was just talking about, one of my really good friends. To the neighbourhood, so nice. I think it's more just because we were like, you know, it's written. But just things like that are just lovely, and just put yourself out there. That's probably the biggest tip, I'd say. Next question is, how do you keep a strong and healthy relationship when you're separated? I don't really know. I think if you've got the right relationship in the first place, then it just works. I think we were really lucky because we just got each other and we were just so on the
same page.
We're
friends as well as like husband and wife, so I think...
So that made it easier.
It's things like maybe not going on the phone, like if I've had a really bad day and then you happen to call, instead of getting on the phone and just shouting at you for 10 minutes, I try and like take a step back and think, well, if I'm only going to get to talk to you for 10 minutes, I may as well talk about good things and talk about the kids and ask what you're up to so I can tell them, and this, that and the other. It's almost like making sacrifices on both sides to make sure the other person's happy, because I know that sometimes you struggle being away, so me being horrible about it isn't going to help. So it's hard, but then it's also good to get things out. So more, I'd say more through email, that's easier with rather than on the phone, because you do have quite limited time most of the time. But in an email, sometimes I think as well, like if I've had a really bad day, I'll get it all in an email and then I'll reread it and I'll give it an hour and then I'll decide whether I'm going to send it or not. And sometimes I've calmed down by then, and I think that helps, because if you're really negative the whole way through, then it'll be hard for you to come back.
If you can't vent to me, then you're not going to vent to anyone, and I'd rather you vent to me.
Vent to my mum. And I think if you've got the strong foundations before sort of like a 6-month separation or whatever, then it helps. Do you ever discuss what life would be like if you weren't a military family? What do you think your routine would be? Rob, what do you think you'd do for a job? Well, you're an engineer.
Engineer through and through. Probably say live in Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Some sort of engineering management.
Having our own house, which would be nice.
I just want my own house. I just want to
That'd be cool.
have my own place, put my feet
I would
up.
Still like to do, like I mentioned earlier, a stint abroad. I think we will do that.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Need to try and get as much time.
But we do talk about a lot, like when we're not in the forces, when we're doing this, when we're doing that. A lot more now. Yeah.
With the 2 kids than before with...
Yeah, it's become more of like a thing that is going to happen soon. So many questions. I think we've got 2 more to do. Is it easier knowing he's going away this time because you've already experienced it, or is it just as hard? Just as hard, definitely just as hard, if not harder, because it's going to be harder on the kids, and I've got 2 kids now, and I don't have the escape of going home this time, because last time I went on maternity leave and moved home to my parents for a few months. So this time is going to be a lot harder. Yeah. What does this life mean for you guys in terms of owning your own house? When can you see yourself settling somewhere permanently? You can own a house, you can if you want to, you can live in your own house, but I think if you're going to get stationed in lots of different places, a lot of us just live in the marriage quarters because there's no point. And Rob would buy a house now.
And again, you can buy houses and then rent them out, but again, if you're getting moved around the country and not knowing where you are, especially if I'm going away, then trying to look after it. But yeah, I'd like to live in Aberdeen, buy a house in there.
Yeah, definitely. Aberdeen,
please.
Or Edinburgh, something like that. And then it'd be fun. We get to decorate our own house. So exciting. So sorry this video is going to be super long, but we had so many questions from all you lovely people, so we thought we'd do pretty much all of them. I think a lot of them were kind of repeats, just worded a bit differently, so hopefully we've covered everything. But if there is any other questions or anything else like that, then pop them below and then we might do another video or something like that. We'll probably do a few videos in the run-up to Rob's deployment, just in terms of what's going on and what we're doing to help the kids and that, because I know quite a lot of sort of military families follow us, and I get a lot of correspondence and things from people asking questions, so hopefully it'll be useful.
And I'll probably try and do some sort of vlogging while I'm there.
That's what you said last time, it didn't happen, so hopefully, maybe, we'll see. But thanks so much for watching, hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe and we'll see you soon. Bye!
Bye!